Previously on Lucas Welsh Music.
Welcome back, everybody. Lucas Welsh here, and this is part 2 of our 1969 Suzuki bass resurrection. We've got a lot of work to do, so let's get into it. I got my favorite tool out today. That's right, my wife's clothes iron. Don't tell her. We are heating up the patches. The old Cleatomereters that are on this beast. And we're gonna try and do something. I've just got this top flipped upside down on the base because honestly, it's so big. So we've got a few things that we've got to really work on here. Of course, number one being we got to get these old sound patches off so that we can get underneath and figure out how we're going to press this all back out. This is going to take some heat, some steam, some kind of calls. It's going to be involved. There's no two ways about it. And are we going to get it perfect? I really can't say. But I do know that the very first thing we have to do here is get these old patches out so that we can take the next steps. Oh, yeah. Definitely not. Quite ready just to give up the ghost here just yet. Oh, there we go. Actually, maybe it is. Sometimes a little bit of. Okay, so we did have there's a little bit of tear out happening here. I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer here so that you can see what's all going on. So you can see here we've pulled up a little bit of, I don't know if we pulled it up, but this was definitely part of the break that it was happening. Now this, well, it was a little piece of plywood, which actually wasn't a bad idea. Plywood's pretty stable, okay? It just, the whole thing just wasn't destined to work very well, I fear. So now we're going to work on this patch. This is a solid maple patch here. Let's put in at just a slight angle the grain is for whatever that did. But you can see this big hump here that we're going to have to try and deal with. We've got fibers twisting and it's not good. Okay, and again, we had some tear out, but that a lot of that is just because it's all broken out fibers here. So there's the patches. I don't know if you can see, that one was buckled. So it was suede. And that was the original problem. That was the original issue. That's what gave this all a little bit of weakness here. I'm going to try and give you a little bit of an illustration here. Okay. So this is the level that it needs to be. We're like 5 millimeters deeper. Okay. So, what we're gonna need is we're gonna need a caul from the outside. We're gonna need a caul from the inside. We're going to have to be able to clamp those from the exterior. We're gonna have to be able to clamp this to bring this all back flush. I'm gonna flip this over. I'm gonna put my iron back on here. And we're gonna see if some heat will help us get things loosening up here. Right. More than a little bit hot. I should have some gloves on is what I should have. You know. But I'm feeling like things are actually wanting to go. What I'm gonna do, I've got the end of a file, and I'm gonna use that a little bit to kind of work those fibers and try and push things out a little bit here. And here's some of that cracking. That's where it's actually starting to come back together. Now I'm going to flip this over and let's see if we've actually made a little bit of progress here. I think we have. So I can tell that we've actually made quite a bit of progress just with a little bit of heat and a little bit of moving. So if I put that on there, we're within 2 millimeters now. Now we're starting to get close to where I think, with some good cauls, that's going to be mitigated a little bit. And what I've got for caul material is I've got Teflon, which I'm going to cut a thin strip for out on the top here. That's going to form to this. That then I can just put some smaller pieces of just flat stock instead of trying to carve out or make a mold or a cast or something like that. That's going to take way too much time for something like this. Okay. So I got some clamps. I got some different cauls. This is what I'm going to use on the outside, and I can just kind of get a little bit of bend out of it. So that's good. And then the idea being, if I use some small blocks of wood, I can, I can get the curvature that I want as close as it's going to need. This is going to make the curve. These are just going to back that up and put the pressure so that it's not, so it's a little more dispersed. And of course, again, we're going to heat this up real hardcore before we do this. Right now, I'm just doing a dry run. I know I can do like this with a couple guitar clamps. So I think that's probably the best we're going to be able to do. It's going to give me 2 clamps on each piece. That should get me to where I need to be, I think. And then, of course, I just have to make sure. So this, I'm going to use some tape maybe from the back side to back this up. I might even give this a little heat so that it actually forms that curve a little bit better. And then I think we've pretty much got our makeup figured out here. Low tack. Now it's low tack. Okay, let's make sure that we're in a good spot. You can buy low tack tape. They'll sell it to you. Yeah, okay. So now that's in the position that I need. Okay, so we've had the heat on there. When I put my hand on from the bottom side, it's not very comfortable to hold it there. That's what we want. We want that to be nice and hot. And we've got our clamps and our cawls lined up, and our pad is taped on from the bottom side. We're ready to go. So here we go. Switch up a little bit here. Put some pressure. Okay, I think that I've got good clampage. When I look at the bottom edge, my cawl is touching super nice all the way around. I think we're there. Voila. So there you have it, folks. We got our clamp down, called, pressed out. We really don't know how good it is until we take the clamps off. So I think that's going to cut it for this part 2 of this video. The next time you see this, we're going to undo these clamps. I'm going to let these probably sit up overnight. I'm just not going to do anything with them at all. I'm going to leave this as it is, and we'll just work around it for the rest of my day. Tomorrow I'm going to come back in. We're going to pull these clamps. We're going to see how well we did. And then it's going to be time to start fitting a bass bar or a sound post patch into here. There is, in the course of all this, I have found a hidden problem that I had no idea existed on this bass, and it's pretty major. So you're going to have to stick around for part 3. We're going to address that all at the same time that we address this this patch here for the sound post. And, you know, thanks for watching. If you guys like what you saw, hit that subscribe button, shoot me a comment, throw me a like. You know, do the thing. Doesn't cost you anything. Might help me out a little bit. All right. Cheers, folks.